Alba Weinman. I am in Micanopy, Florida on a very, very hot Saturday evening. It's after 6 o'clock. And it's been a long time since I've been online. In fact, it's been a long time since I've done a hypnosis session. I've taken off quite a few weeks now to rest, and I feel very, very chill. So if you have found me here, welcome. I did want to give you all an update on what's been happening. Uh, I have now become officially a grandmother. I've had a little grandbaby girl, and she's adorable. And everything is fine. I had her other grandparents here, and she's just a cutie pie. So that has been keeping me busy. And the funny thing is that I stopped working a few weeks ago just to enjoy myself, but I ended up nesting. If you've been a mom, you know what nesting means. You basically uh, get ready for the baby, even though she's not coming to see me. But I spent a lot of time cleaning up, organizing, and doing things around the house that I don't usually do. So I want to say hi to RC. Thank you very much, and Sheldon and Gemini Empath. Um, there's been a lot of new people to my channel, I've noticed, and today I did post something on the channel. I do not typically answer anybody's questions or respond to comments on my YouTube channel. So today I had to tell our new viewers kind of like what things are like. Uh, if you're new to my channel, I do hypnotherapy. I don't do QHHT sessions, which are basically asking the higher self questions. I do actual therapy. And so the way I do my work is I will spend approximately an hour with my clients before the session to get to know them, to touch upon issues that they're going through. We go through their family lineage, which I think is very, very important because you are being guided all the time by ancestors that you may not have even met in your life. And to me, just spending a moment acknowledging their names, who they were, and how they may be affecting you in one way or another, I think it's really important. So I spend about an hour talking to people, and during that time is when we really get an idea of what their session may be like. I tell them, let's set our GPS to what we really want to work on. What people bring to the session may not be necessarily what comes up during the session. So I just ask the soul to take you wherever it is that you need to heal, and that's where they go. So everybody has had trauma in their life, whether it's tiny little thing or horrific stuff. And during the sessions, we address these issues. Now, as the viewer watching the session, you don't have any idea why they came to the session, what it is that we're working on. So they may go to an event in their childhood that may bring up things that you would never think that would bother you, but they do, and they set you up for future dialogue in your mind. Like, for example, I'll give just an example. Perhaps you didn't like math, arithmetic, and you were asked to come to the front of the class and do figure out a problem that was on the board, and everybody in the class is laughing at you, the teacher is making fun of you, and right from that moment, you may be 7, 8, 9 years old, you're thinking, I'm a loser, I can't do anything right, people hate me, I'll never get this right. And so that has become now, that'll be a pattern that when you are faced with things that scare you, all of a sudden that dialogue comes up. You're not good enough, you're stupid. And so we're dealing with things. So it may not be very interesting to the viewer why we go to a classroom, for example, but that's what we're working on. Hi, Mike and Jenny. Jenny says, very interesting sessions you do. It's amazing helping so many loving souls. You're such a beautiful, lovely lady. Thank you very much. Gemini Empath says, trauma is a part of expansion, so I do understand that. Yeah, I mean, we come here to learn, and, you know, trauma affects us, and it does make us, it does change our lives. And so we go to those things that have something to do with that. In sessions, you may get to a past life that is affecting you. You may have a metaphor as to, there's one client that I've had a few sessions with her throughout the years, and everything in her session is like a metaphor. It's almost like you're watching these old Fellini movies. I mean, they're just like really interesting. You don't know what's going on, but only their soul can interpret it, if you know what I mean. So there's that too. And of course, you have the divine beings that come in and talk with you too. I am putting out my newsletter next Saturday. Today I put one out for Maryland and Washington, D.C. only because I am going up there for a few days in September. And I figured, why not? Let me give people opportunity in that area. Those are already filled. They fill up pretty quick. But I will be doing sessions in August. I have that lined up, and you'll get the newsletter on the 19th. Now, you know, it's one of those funny things. I worked in an office all my life for decades, and I really like reports. I like things to look at statistics. And it's kind of interesting because when I send out a newsletter, believe it or not, it tells me when a subscriber opens when I send out something to them, when they open the email, what they click on, if they click on any links, and how often they open the email. And it's really interesting to see the people who unsubscribe. What they'll put is like, I get too many emails from you. Well, I only send out one email a month right now. I've only been sending out one email a month. And when I look at their engagement, is what it's called, perhaps I send the email out, you know, at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they don't open it until maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or they open it the next day. And on the unsubscribe, they're saying like, I'm tired of not being able to get a session. Well, I put on my website every month the day I'm going to send out the newsletter. And, you know, when I want to be aware of when something's happening, I put a reminder on my phone to keep an alert for me. And so all you have to do if you really want a session with me is just put an alert on the day and be ready to hit that button. And a lot of people tell me, hey, you know, it was really easy for me. You know, I've only tried it 2 or 3 times. So it's really up to your divine team to guide you on that day to get a session. So don't give up hope, because the statistics, it's really wild to see that the statistics of how many emails I put out to the subscribers and how many actually click on the email and open it up is very small. So there's a lot of people who just aren't even doing it. They're not even opening up the email. And so those who really want a session will be on it. So I'm just telling you this stuff because I look at the stats and it doesn't match up with what people are saying out there. If you really want something, you can get it. And what's happening is that, you know, I've been manifesting consistently now for years because I realized it's my mindset. It's how I talk to myself. That's the internal dialogue that you're talking about that makes things happen. And when people say, it never works for me, like I'm reading on this, it's what you are thinking about yourself. What are you saying to yourself? It's never working for me. So the universe is just going to give you more of that. Okay. If you're the type of person who says, "Oh, I don't have enough money. I never have enough money. I don't have enough time," that's exactly what your life is going to be like. So, if you don't think the site works on certain browsers, then change the browser. Go to a different one. You know, um, that's as easy as that. You know, there are some sites that work better on some and not, but um, yeah, just change the site. I sometimes go on. I'll go on Chrome. I'll go on DuckDuckGo. I'll go on different ones, and some come up faster than others. Um, Safari on the phone, you know. I would say if you really want a session, get on a laptop where you're actually right there on a piece of equipment that could switch browsers very quickly. So that's all I have to say about that. It's very interesting when I look at the stats. Some people just aren't even trying. So yeah, if you use a tablet, it's the same thing. Try a different device. You know. So where are you all coming in from? Are you on the U.S. or are you overseas? Overseas, they're probably sleeping by now. So let's start page. Okay, Firefox. Okay. Um, Angela's in Atlanta. Bro is in California. Someone asks, have you ever had a session cut out due to connection issues? Yeah. I can't think of we just had one the other day in which I can't think of the name of the session. Her power went out and her whole house went out. And so she had to, uh, she was gone from my screen and she had to go and she had to connect her generator and come back to the session. So yes, that does happen. I've also had another one where we had about 10 disconnects that day. The internet went out about 10 times for me, and I've had other people where they've disappeared for a while. It absolutely does not affect the session. Um, when people think when you use the word under, that was something I was taught very early on when I learned hypnotherapy, is not to say the words "you're under hypnosis," because people always think under. You feel like you're underground, like you're dead, like you're gone. We were always taught to say you're in hypnosis or in trance, and when you're in a trance, it's no different than when you're daydreaming while you're driving down a highway for a long time, when you're just kind of just on autopilot and you're just daydreaming about whatever. And if somebody cuts in front of you, you snap out of that daydream real fast. And then once the danger is over, you continue daydreaming. That's what it feels like to be under hypnosis. Sometimes you're you're in a much deeper trance. But most of the times when I do a session, they're not that deep. I don't want them that deep. They don't need to be that deep. Okay. Let's see. Chicago, welcome. How's the weather over there? I heard there was some rain nearby. Rita says, I was able to book my first session pretty quick. Thank you, Rita, for saying that. Gemini Empath is in Texas. South Africa. Oh, it's late over there. What are you doing up so late? And Louisa's in Ireland. Thank you for joining. Grace is in the UK. Virginia's in Tennessee. Yorkshire, UK. Thank you, Space Cadet Lottie. Jennifer, you're in southern New Zealand. Well, it's daytime over there. Morning, right? Mid-morning. Michael is from London. Terry's from Ontario. Teresa's Michigan, Ohio. Ooh, OH. San Francisco, Oregon. Rita's in Florida. I just got back from Europe, now in Southern California. Ooh, your jet lag must be heavy duty. Yeah, it's been a while. Hey, Sean, how are you, my dear? Big kiss to you. Sean did our opening ceremonies in the Phoenix gathering. Uh, you're wonderful, Sean. Thank you. That was great. Silicon Valley's on here. Ashland, Ohio. Nice. Saudi Arabia. I get asked constantly to do sessions do stuff in Arabic. I don't speak Arabic, and the Google does the translating. So Sheldon, I've seen your name before a lot. He's from Iowa. Angela's been listening to you since you started your vlog. I love listening to the different experiences people have. Yeah. Jamie is from Sharon, North Alabama. Bai says, the full moon energy always lingers days after and disrupts my sleep. How did you remember the time in South Africa? Well, I'll tell you why. Because when COVID came and I started doing my gatherings online, we had to know the time frame where everybody was in order to schedule the gatherings. So I always knew that South Africa was on the same time as Europe, and that UK and England and Ireland was 1 hour behind. So yeah, I just had to learn all of that. Sean is from Yuma, Arizona. Only 116 degrees. Oh my. Jeez. I'm kind of melting here. You can see how sweaty I am. Bleed Tokyo says, hey Alba, I'm wondering when can I ever book with you? I'm just wondering if what they say they see is a full illumination or maybe half feeling also. Okay, well let me explain to you. Everybody's experience is absolutely different. So I cannot tell you what they're experiencing. Most people don't see anything. It's not like you're going to the movies and you're seeing. What happens is that it's like a memory. When you are remembering an event that has happened to you in the past, you're just there. Like if I were to ask you to remember maybe a birthday party that you had when you were a little girl that you loved so much, and you start talking about it, you're there. It's how your memory is. It's there. You may not see anything, but you remember it, and it feels like your imagination because you're there. Some people just know things. It comes in a data block, and you just know things. You don't know how you know it, but you just know it. And everybody is completely different. Some people are very, very visual. Some people are not. They just know things. So during my sessions, I will tell the person, the more you talk, the more you will see. Now, see does not mean you're going to see it. It's like they just know things more. So you cannot ask someone exactly what it's like to be in hypnosis because every single person experiences something different, and every time they have the experience, it may be different. So there's really no one way. You just have to experience it. But think of it more as a memory. You're having a memory of a thing that you don't consciously remember. That's what it's like. So, for example, if you're being shot in a hypnosis session, you may feel a jolt, but there's no pain there. It's just a memory of when someone, hit you or shot you. So it's not something that could be answered. It has to be experienced, and every time is different. Sylvia says, I feel so lethargic today. Is anyone else having this issue? Yeah, well, it took me a while. It's taken me a long time to even get the motivation to do this, because sometimes it's just hard to just talk. You get so tired. Bai says, I once tried hypnotherapy and made me dizzy and nauseous. The therapist couldn't go further with me. I was disappointed. I need to try again. Yeah, well, you know, you have to trust the person that you're doing the session with, first of all. If you don't trust the person and you're just doing it for, I just stopped my mouth. I was going to say something that, bad words. But anyway, if you're just doing it to, for the, for the hell of it, just for curiosity, you don't know the person, you're not going to open up. And if the person is not very experienced and doesn't know what to do with you if you're acting up, and not following directions, then you have a double whammy there. In hypnosis, you have to follow directions. You have to be able to get yourself out of the way, set yourself aside, get that ego out of the way, and just allow yourself to be taken. And, wherever it is that you need to go. But if you're trying to control the session, if you're coming with expectations of what you want it to be like, good luck with that. Space Cadet Lottie says, like a knowing, I've had a session with a different method. That's fine. Everything is, it doesn't matter the method. It's you, it's the trance. Okay, she says, makes sense because sometimes you remember so much detail, but maybe not. Yeah. Recipes for Life Uncut. Greetings from North Dakota. Thank you. Panda drama. I really need to get an appointment from you. Remember, Edgar Casey got quite sick after doing this session. It will drain you, so you must balance your health. Yes, this is very true. That's why I don't do that many sessions anymore, because my sessions are dealing with such heavy-duty stuff recently in the last few years that I'm living the trauma with them as I go through it. So when I'm done, I'm usually starving. I'm really hungry. I feel like I've just ran a marathon and I have to take it easy. So I'm not doing as many anymore. Angela's in Colorado. Thanks for joining me here. I don't know how to say your first name, but Tannen, do you access subconscious memory through hypnosis? Is there any way to access full memories of the self and be a fully realized being? In hypnosis, you're going to only access whatever it is that your soul wants to access. In order for you to be a full realized being, you have to live in the present. Don't be worried about the past. Just live now. The moment that everything is created, the moment where everything happens is the moment of now. The only reason you would go in the past is to take care of some business, but God made your eyes in front of you, not behind you, so you need to be looking where you're going and in front of you. Westfold says, out of curiosity, what is your heritage? Well, I think by the time I finish here, I'm going to be dripping. Look, I already am. It's hot out here. I was born in Cuba, in Havana, Cuba, on a military base. That is where I was born. And at about 3 years of age, Fidel Castro, who was a communist, took over the island. My father was in the military, and in order for us to save our lives, because they were actually putting the officers in front of firing squads and killing them. In order for my father to save his life, we had to get out of the country. So that's why we are here. But I am of Cuban descent. I was born there. Shay Morrison says, I was at the Phoenix retreat. Thank you. Thank you for being there. That was a really nice retreat. Well, not retreat, it's a gathering. Bai says, sorry you had to go through that. No, I'm not sorry I had to go through that. I wouldn't be who I am if I would have stayed there. So, you know, before you come to Earth, you have already picked your family, the place where you're going to be born, and the challenges that you're going to go through in order for you to succeed in your mission. And I picked the perfect parents. My parents were ideal. They were wonderful. I have a great family and a very caring family. And, you know, I went through what I went through because I had to. And not only through that, but through my whole life, I've been through hell like all of you have. So I wouldn't be the person I am today had I not gone through those challenges and overcome them. So never feel bad for your challenges because they actually forge you into the individual that you are. All right. Kay says, I have my certificate for BQH. I don't know how to start. Well, why don't you consider coming to our introspective hypnosis class in May and get some more techniques under your belt. Gemini Empath says, what was your most profound session? I can't answer that. I've had so many profound sessions. I don't know. And, you know, when I'm done with the session, I don't really think about them anymore. If I'm going to post a session, I will spend the few hours that I need editing them because I do cut out people's names, very personal experiences. I edit it and I put it up on YouTube. But after that's done, I don't need to remember that anymore. It has nothing to do with me. So I don't really think about my sessions afterwards. I don't keep track of them. Those sessions are for my clients and it's for them to process, not for me. So I can't tell you what I can't answer that question. Let's see. Makes sense. I'm the same way. After channeling, I get amnesia quite often. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. And unless you do this for a while, you just don't have any idea. Carrie says, you woke me up in 2019 after watching one of your videos. I'm glad that I impacted your life that way. You know, there's a lot of people out there now who are helping wake up the world. And especially now, this is the time of ascension. We are getting hit by some powerful waves from the sun, from the light. And that light is changing us. And we are seeing people awaken that would never have given us the time of day. They are now questioning and they're curious. And so for those of you who have been on this track for a long time, I've been on this spiritual journey since the late 1980s. It's been a long journey. And I feel that it was perfect for me. A lot of you are just waking up now, but it's taken me a long time to follow those breadcrumbs that have been laid out in front of me to wake up. And now when all the other people are waking up and they're like, oh my God, what is all this? There's a lot of us now, a lot of the army that has been sent here, the warriors that are here to help those, to help them along. Let's see. Bai says, we love you, Alba, like the kind of tears we have for pure source energy. I've cried with gratitude for you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Panda Drama says, we are all amnesiacs. We all came with a clean slate and they want to put us through the cyclical calamity again. But I'm sure we will all wake up to our past and turn things around. You know, if we come here and do what we came here to do, it's going to be okay. We are all here on a special mission and we all signed up for this. You know, there's a lot of people out there who are saying no, but yes, we came here and, you know, I remember a regression that they did on me, where I was in front of my counsel not wanting to come here, and they talked me into it because they said that, I had the experience, and I, I was, I was the one for the job. So I took the job. And I do feel like I've done this over and over and over again. It doesn't feel like this is the first time I've done this. So uh, it took me decades to get on board with this, but finally, finally, I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and we'll see how things happen in the future. So for those of you who are just came on, uh, I just want to let you know that I have been on vacation, on holiday from hypnosis. I haven't been out doing anything except cleaning, organizing, and just making myself happier in my own home. I've been taking in guests. I've had guests for the last week or so because we had a little baby girl born in our family. My granddaughter was born, and she has changed our life already. The moment I picked her up, I recognized that little soul. I knew that we've known each other forever, and I can't wait till she grows up and we can have adventures together. Right now, she's just a little bundle. Uh, just arrived, but I can't wait till she gets a little bit bigger and we can start playing and doing that kind of stuff. So let's see. Yes, thank you. She's a cutie pie. She really is. And she's got great parents. So they are very, very. They're very educated. Both of them are very. They're very calm. I think she's got the best parents, and her family is extensive and really excited about it. And of course, my parents are too. So insightful gem. I literally thought about you, and then I go on YouTube, and here you are. Hi, Alba, sending you love from Brooklyn. My niece, if you know my niece Lori, some of you have met her at a gathering. She used to live in Brooklyn until a few years ago. We brought her down to Florida, and she's now living in Miami. So Patty says, hi, Alba. Thank you for the awesome QHHT session in 2017. Woo, that's a long time ago. I walked out a different person than I was before my session in Seattle. My name is Henrietta. I got to look you up. Um, and God, 2017 is a long time ago. Yeah, my technique has changed profoundly since then. If any of you have been following me from the first day, you can see how different things are. But thank you, Henrietta, for chiming in. I don't know, Henrietta, if you were one of the groups of the ladies who came down in a group. Was that one of you? I remember there were 3 or 4 ladies that came down from Seattle, and beautiful, beautiful souls. And uh, I just ran across the video the other day of us sitting there and just saying something into the camera. That was a lot of fun. Jamie says, love you, Alba. The energy that is coming from your beautiful trees is amazing. Oh, yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. Kay says, how many sessions have you done? I have no idea. When I first started doing sessions, your ego is really big, and it's so big you could hardly carry it on your head, because you're like, oh, look, I've done 50 sessions, I've done 75 sessions, I've done 150 sessions. After a while, you don't keep track. It doesn't matter. Um, I have always tried to keep my ego in check, and that kind of stuff is not important. I've done thousands of them, thousands. When I first started doing hypnosis, I was doing them on the weekends. I was still working, doing them on the weekends. And I was whenever I did sessions, I was doing 2 sessions a day, which took up hours. There were times when I did 3 sessions a day. I remember one trip that I did, I think it was to Salt Lake City. I did 4 sessions in one day. And these were simple sessions. They weren't the type of sessions I'm doing now. And now I have slammed on the brakes, and I just don't do that many anymore because it's not worth my health. My health took a real nosedive in 2020, and I had to stop doing that. Space Cadet says, Alba, have you ever been to James Gillage East City Ranch in Washington? No, I haven't. I was interviewed by James a few years ago, but no, I haven't. I just saw an interview with him. I think, who did he have an interview with? Either with Michael Sala or, I don't remember who he did one, but it would be interesting to go there. I could go there. I was very close to going there when I went to Spokane. So yeah, I would like to go there one day. It's on my bucket list. Lori Create 08 says, it's wonderful seeing you in live. I watched many of your videos and I tried helping myself by the way you helped others. Okay? I tried helping myself. Okay. I don't understand what that means, but Parita says, how can you talk about the work in Hawaii and how you help those souls? I went to Hawaii at 18. I did a few sessions there, but nothing particularly different than normal. I remember one session where she was like the last queen of Hawaii, and there were some souls that were helped on that in that session, but I don't recall exact details. Basically, this is, I will have to find your interview. I bet that's awesome. If I don't have it in my I have a playlist of all my interviews, so you can look there. But I have a feeling I don't have his on there. If I remember when I go inside, I'll add his to that playlist. United Kingdom, Deborah, what are you doing up so late? Everybody in the UK is like staying up late on Saturday. So let's see how wet. Yeah, it's not that bad. Have you ever had famous historical souls come through? Famous historical souls. Well, I've had divine people come through, so I guess they are. So yes. Liverpool. Karen. I'm sorry about what happened in Liverpool with that crazy guy. Liverpool was fun. I was there doing sessions. Sharon is from Cape Town. Panda says, I hope one day you will do sessions for the politicians. No. You know, no one who is not on my frequency will be allowed near me. So if they're not on a high frequency or on my frequency, my guides will not allow that. And, you know, I don't go out and look for people to have sessions with. You know, when I first started out and I didn't have my boundaries set as high as I do now, you know, people would call me up and say, you know, I remember one guy in particular, in fact, very nice man. He worked with like the NFL or something, and he called me up and talked to me and said, hey, listen, you know, my football players could really use this work. And I told him the same as I tell everybody else. People will be sent to me by my guides, and they will have to go through the same procedure as everybody else. If they want a session, they could sign up. So, and if they're not meant to be around me, it's not going to happen. So are we all in a high frequency? Well, if you're in my radar, you're on my channel. Okay, think of it as a radio station. When you are vibing with other people, you're on their channel. Now, you may not stay on their channel for very long. Maybe you'll go up higher or lower. But right now, if you are picking up on this video, it's because somehow you were drawn to it and you're on it. There's many people who have watched my videos for a long time and then they drop off because they say, okay, I've had enough and I'm moving on. And some people who just discover it and they're new to the channel. So, do you have any upcoming book signings planned? No, I do not. In fact, I don't even have any books available to sell right now. So, no. What I do is if you come to me and you have a book, you could bring it and I'll sign it for you. Or if you're in New Zealand and happen to see Jill Cole, you can have her sign the book. That would be cool. Can dead-eyed people hypnotize his previous life? I have no idea what that means. Can dead-eyed people hypnotize his previous... Is this a person? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Parita Patel says, what's your favorite place you traveled to? Oh my God, there's so many beautiful places out there. So many beautiful places. New Zealand is gorgeous. Australia was great. Ireland was great. Great Britain was great. Everywhere I traveled, beautiful places. Oh my God. Germany was fabulous. Netherlands is great. Italy, Italy, you know, the Tivoli, I went to Tivoli. And of course, there's so many beautiful places in the United States that I just love to travel. And there's beautiful places wherever you choose to find them. So it's not like I just don't like to go to the same place twice because there's so many places on earth that I want to go to. Somebody says, hi, you're still working with Geraldine. I did happen to call. No, I'm not working with Geraldine. I haven't talked to her in years. So I don't know anything about Geraldine. I haven't talked to her, I think, probably in about 5 years. What to do if one cannot be hypnotized? Try again. How was the Bigfoot conference in Ocala? It was great. I had a lot of fun there. It was really nice. So someone says, I listened for some time now. Not sure if I missed an episode, but has anybody talked about their future lives, foretelling a forgotten future that has yet happened before jumping the timeline? You know, my sessions with Sabrina Etheridge go into future probabilities, and you have to call them probabilities because, yes, timelines do change. They do shift, and some people are on different timelines than you are. But I was just going to do a short the other day. I've been so lazy because I've been on vacation, and I haven't wanted to get online at all. It's like, ugh, I don't want to even do stuff when I'm just focused on the house. But I wanted to do a few shorts, figure out how to do those. And there are some sessions that I did with Sabrina Etheridge. She was kind of predicting future events. And there was one in which she says, oh, I see water. I see a lot of water. And look what's been happening. Look at Texas. Look at Illinois, Idaho, all this stuff. Helene, Hurricane Helene. I mean, there's been so many. I think even Dubai. Didn't Dubai have a flood over there? There's been so many catastrophes. And Sabrina's sessions did have these probabilities. And yeah. Let's see. Deborah says, have you ever been scared by someone who's gone into a deep, deep trance for what they have told you? Nah. No. I don't know what you mean by what they have told me, but Deborah, I'm doing my job. It's a job that I do, and my job is to make sure that my client is safe and that we're getting work done, and I'm in control. So it's not like I'm not scared by it. It's just what I do, you know? So, um, I just had the idea of a race car driver. It's like asking a race car driver, have you ever been scared when you're going really, really fast? And you've been trained to do this. So for them, that's part of the job. So yeah, if somebody goes into a deep, deep trance, I'm going to pump them for more information. But when you go into a deep, deep trance, half the time you can't, um, I'll tell you something that happened to me when someone goes into a deep, deep trance. They are so freaking boring because they don't talk. You can't get them to talk very much. So I have like fallen asleep while I'm doing this. And so when someone goes into a very deep, deep trance, I try to raise them up out of it, because otherwise I'll fall asleep. I'll be bored out of my mind waiting for them to say the next word. So those aren't online because I could never post those. Can you speak about the Sasquatch? I think they are around me. Could be. I've been reading books about the Sasquatch, and every evening I listen to different podcasts where they tell stories about it. There's one which I love, which is Cryptids Canada. That's on YouTube. There's also Buckeye Bigfoot, which I love to listen to. The other channel is All Things Strange, I believe. I think that's what it is. But anyway, yeah, the Sasquatch are multidimensional. They're not always physical. They're able to phase out. And when you are thinking about them, they could actually hone in on you, and they will know your thoughts. They know your thoughts. There's no secrets there. They know if you're someone who can be trusted or someone who they don't want anything to do with. If you're the type of person who wants to go out there and take pictures of them and maybe get some proof or something like that, they're going to be pissed off. If you come too close to their family, they're going to be upset. There's different types of Sasquatch. Some of them are nicer than others, just like people. Some are protectors, and they all have different jobs to do. But if you request that they connect with you, they will watch you for a very, very long time to see if it's someone that they want to make contact with. I have not had any contact made with me. I haven't seen any, but I know that whenever it's time to see one, they will show themselves, and it may not be where I expect them. So if you're, it's part of manifestation too. If you're thinking about something, it will come into your reality. Space Cadet said, I feel like that sometimes I stopped going in live chats for months. Don't know what we were talking about there. Oh, Vancouver Island, cool. Mariana, much love to you. Her session is online. She is in Manchester, UK. Oh, thank you for the congratulations. We're very, very happy about our little baby. Talking about Sabrina, she is doing readings, and they're fascinating. The other day, she channeled something which, we'll talk about it online one of these days, and she'll explain what happened. But she is really connecting a lot more than she even expected, and she does absolutely fantastic readings. She's learning how to work with guidelines, because a lot of people want to talk during a reading. They want to ask questions. And when you're doing a reading, you're in a trance, obviously. So Sabrina's in a trance, and all of these things are talking to her, and she's pushing out information. Now, if a person talks in the middle of it, it like changes the channel. And so she's kind of working on how to explain that to people where they will just be quiet and listen, because if you're interrupting her, it interrupts the transmission. And I learned this, I used to get readings from someone who has already passed on. His name was Robert Lindsay Milne. And whenever he would have a channeling set, a reading for me, that's the first thing he would say. He says, this is what I'm gonna be doing, and please do not interrupt me. And I remember one time I interrupted him and he was really upset because it stopped the transmission right there. It stopped the train of thought and he lost it. So anyway, if you want a session with Sabrina, just go to her Facebook page and send her a message. Lori Cree 808 says, you are very unique in your work, very delicate and precise to the root of the problem. Thank you. You know, when I first started this, I made a request to God to be an instrument of God when I do this. So I take it very seriously that when I do my work, it is God's work. Valerie, DJD is from Seattle. Valerie says, I've seen your sessions evolve every year and focus on new things in sessions. Is this from new training? Yeah, it's new training and experience. So, you know, when you learn new things, you realize, ooh, you know, I need to work more on that. Does doing this help you burn your karmic debt on Earth? Parita, I don't know if you're talking about my work or hypnosis, but as you go through life, you know, I think bottom line, life is about love and forgiveness. And as you learn to handle things differently, you work off karmic debt, because, you know, recently something happened to me where I could have reacted a totally different way. You know, I could have stepped in and had my ego like want to fight something and want to get my way. And I just let it go. And I said, you know, you got to pick your battles in life. And, you know, things change and people change. And I'm not going to give someone an impression that's going to stay with them for the rest of their life when maybe I wasn't feeling well. So just let it go. And this is the new me. The old me would, you know, was still burning off karma. But right now I step back, I look at things, and is it really worth it? You know, forgive, love, and let go. Greetings from North Dakota. I've got to go to North Dakota. I've never been to that state. The Facts by How to Hunt on YouTube is a great Sasquatch channel reading people's experience. Yeah, that's the same as Cryptid Canada and Buckeye Bigfoot. Psychic Sasquatch by Kawani Lepsaritis is a great book. Yes, I've read that. That was my first book that I read many years ago. The art in the book has triggered a memory when I saw one in the UK. Yeah. A lot of redacted messages here. I found you on TikTok. I don't know how you found me on TikTok. Whoever is putting me on TikTok is not authorized to put me on TikTok. I'm glad you're here, but that pisses me off because people are taking and stealing my work and putting it on their channel. And, you know, I have issues with that. So if you found me on TikTok, thank you, but whoever is doing that is not authorized. In fact, if you see any other channel on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram that has my work on it, they're basically stealing my stuff. And as my loyal viewers, I would appreciate it if you write it to them and tell them, hey, that's not your work. Because they're monetizing and they're getting viewers on my work. So I don't think that's very fair. And okay, is she online? I don't know, Crystalline, what we're talking about. Deborah says, I'm from Birmingham, UK, Mariana. Yeah, you guys are... How do you personally get in the flow of your work? Experience, my dear. That's a lot of experience. I just do. I just do. And a lot of people who go to my gatherings will see me at work because there is a point in the gatherings where I do mini sessions. We're talking maybe 5, 10 minutes of a session, and they will see me. And I'm sorry I'm jittery, but the mosquitoes are biting me. They will see me immediately go into that flow. So if you all get to go to a gathering, you could see me in action. Cinnamon, I love that name, Cinnamon Whitlock. Hi, I love your gift. Thank you for sharing this knowledge. I'm from New Zealand. Fantastic. Cinnamon, you should get a hold of Jill Cole there. Jane Patterson, love your work, Alba. Thank you. Alba, do you ever do interviews? Yes, of course. If you go to my YouTube channel, which you're on, and you look at my playlist, I have a slew of interviews there. So if you want to know anything about me, they're on there. Talita says, thank you so much for the work that you do. So I think that in the subject of stealing your work, there's been a lot of channelers getting their videos. Does that affect you personally? You know, if I can't do anything about it, I'm not going to get crazy, but I don't like the fact that people are putting my work up. And let me tell you why. This is the main reason I really, really am upset about this. My sessions are not for entertainment. They are hypnotherapy sessions. And there are many times when my clients will send me an email because their life has changed, and they will say, would you please take down my videos? And I don't care where I am in the world, as soon as I get that message, their video is down within seconds because they do not want their vulnerable self out there any longer. Now, if someone is taking my work, copying it, putting it out in India or Arabic or whatever, I have no control, and their session is still out there. So that is the reason. My work is very different than just some entertainment video because this is an actual therapy session. And you as the viewer have no idea why they came to me and what is being worked in that session. So that is the reason why I get upset, because once somebody contacts me, their video is gone, deleted forever. And there have been some amazing videos out there which people loved. They were favorites, but the people who were in it were getting, even though their name is not out there, they were being found, they were being harassed, they were being questioned, and it made their life miserable. They became famous all of a sudden, and their life was being tormented by the fact that their video was online. So that's why, you know, if it's something, you know, if it's something that I put out that's just an interview or something, that's fine. But if this is a therapy session, this is not for entertainment. So have you thought of blurring faces? I used to do that all the time. But, you know, my thing is, if they want their faces to be blurred, they're already feeling sensitive about it. So I'm not going to put it up there. I've drawn the line with that now. It's like, listen, if you're already uncomfortable having your face shown, then I'm not going to put it up there because you're still going to feel uncomfortable. So yeah, there have been people where I haven't put even them on. It's just been their recording. So anyway, that's what I feel about it. So it's not about stealing my stuff. It's about, to me, putting stuff out that doesn't belong to you. It's my client stuff. It's my client's session, and I have the copyright to that. And just because you think it's great and you want to put a clip of it on your videos, it's not for entertainment. This is therapy. So with that, I'm going to let you go because I'm being eaten alive out here. Much love to you all. I'll see you when I see you, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.